Your take on red wine with meat or game and white wine with fish or seafood.
That is a good rule for brand new drinkers. If they haven't had the opportunity, yes, if you haven't had the opportunity or the experience to really know how flavor works, then that is like the safest route to go, and that can actually start to open up doors as to why certain things taste good with other things. But the more experience that you get in the wine world, there are some fantastic light Pinot Noirs that go excellently with fish. There are some incredibly robust Chardonnays that I would serve with lamb any day. It just, it requires an immense amount of tasting and drinking, and I mean, largely tasting. It's, you cannot be afraid to try new things. You have to be bold in order to really get some of these incredible pairings.
Talk to us about what tasting is.
Do you want the scientific answer, or do you want like the experiential answer? There's so much that goes on with tasting. Oh my God. It's so scientifically, tasting is what happens when edible molecules dissolve on your tongue, and there is this really cool neural reaction that your tongue has, and it communicates with your brain and tells you, okay, this is what you're tasting. Tasting is also deeply tied into smell and memory. And we recently did an episode on taste and just had such a blast with it. Tasting is such an experiential thing. It's very hard scientifically. We can say, yes, this molecule will react this way, but what that says in your own head, what that says in your own brain and memory, that's going to translate to so many different things. Like, I know as a white girl growing up in America, eating probably one of the blandest diets that was possible. I literally started learning how to cook because I didn't want to die on cold canned SpaghettiOs. That's where my food journey started. So like that is my basis. That was my basis for food knowledge. But somebody else who grows up on the other side of the planet, who grows up with a completely different taste sensory taste world around them, like Germany, growing up with sauerkraut. It took me years to learn how to like sauerkraut, and I love it. It's delicious now, but that very heavy vinegary taste really can set you up for a much broader flavor experience that like white kids in Kansas aren't going to get unless they've got like a European grandma. Taste is so subjective, and it's so fascinating. It's so cool. I mean, oh my God. And don't even get me started on Indian food, because Indian food is crazy cool. They have their own, like here in the Western world, we like to refer to the five senses of taste as like sweet, sour, spicy, no, sweet, sour, salty, umami. And then in India, they've got this whole other thing called chapata, and it's just mind blowing. They incorporate spices into their sensory evaluations, and it's so cool. It's just so in depth.
So there is nothing wrong with saying that a wine can smell like a pair of socks.
No, nothing wrong with that at all. Actually, there is there's a tasting note for some Sauvignon Blancs that it smells like cat pee, and owning a cat, it's 100% on the mark. That doesn't mean that the wine is bad. It just means it's not for me.